your macros free week. I love doing this stuff. I feel like I could talk till I'm blue in the face about nutrition sometimes, especially because I think there's so much confusing information out there for people. And so it brings me just absolute joy to shed light on some different aspects for individuals, mostly women, busy working moms that, struggle to put all the pieces of that puzzle together. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Meggin Anderson. I have been a fitness professional now for 9 years, going on 10 years. Super crazy to think. I'm a group fitness instructor. I'm an online wellness coach. I'm also a nutrition coach, certified nutrition coach. Sorry, I keep closing the door, but she keeps making her way back in. It's like having a toddler, I swear. And so one of the things that I do, not only do I teach in our local community, classes and things of that nature, but the majority of what I do is I run these online communities. So the bulk of my business has always been online since day one, since I began my journey and partnered with my company, Beachbody. It's just been an amazing, amazing ride. But the bulk of what I do is online. So most of you that are watching are probably a part of my online community. I'm actually streaming in a bunch of different places right now. We're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on my business page, and inside of one of our communities, which is my like VIP members. And so inside these communities, I provide tools and resources and basically those puzzle pieces that I mentioned, right? Putting the puzzle pieces together so that you can kind of take your health and wellness from where you are to where you want to go and beyond. And I love cultivating the online community because it adds that extra layer of support. So, depending on where you are in the world, the community brings us all together. And while there really is no like replacement for, in-person connection, the community kind of adds that layer. And I love being a part of it too. So you'll find that my groups are designed not as like the Meggin show, but essentially a place for us to come together equally inside the groups and be working on our health and fitness goals together. So this week inside of our community is week 2, and we are working on Master Your Macros. So a lot of you guys are already a part of the community, so make sure you say hi. I love, love, love all of the interaction, and I wanted to come live today because I wanted to kind of review some things for community members, but also answer a lot of questions. And I started to think that as I was seeing these questions like privately and in different parts of social media, that it would be a great to come to one place and sort of answer your questions. Maybe you have some extra ones, and then also talk about some of the ways that I'm coaching some of my clients nutritionally more recently, and how they're seeing success when it comes to like putting all the pieces together on the puzzle of nutrition. And again, I was saying in the beginning, like it's my joy to help kind of shed this light, right? But more so than that, show you how uncomplicated it can be. I think we put too many things on it, and we say it's all these things we have to remember about food and food rules and restrictions, and we get overwhelmed. And so as a result, we don't do anything, right? So one of the things that I want to do today too is give you some action items to walk away with so that you can start implementing that in your day to day. Okay. So the Master Your Macros week has been so much fun. So basically what I've been doing is breaking down, for those of you that aren't in the community, I've been breaking down each week. We're going to talk about what macros are. And so yesterday we talked about protein, what that is. We gave a big list of foods. We talked about, what that consists of and why it's important. So basically your proteins are, fish, eggs, lean meats, plant-based things like tempeh, chickpeas, kidney beans. We got protein powders, quinoa, things of that nature, right? So protein is the building blocks that helps lean muscle mass. It helps repair. It helps you with muscle recovery and soreness. And so, you want to make sure that you're getting plenty of protein in your diet at all of the time, right? Building blocks, carrying oxygen through your body. Okay. And then today we posted about healthy fats and what that looks like. So almonds, avocados, I consume grass-fed cheeses. You've got hummus, you've got oils, you've got nut butter, seeds, and things of that nature. And healthy fats are essential for our bodies too. I think that, for me, I'm 48 years old, so I was raised in a diet culture. I was raised on it should be fat free, low fat, no calories, all of that kind of stuff. So we were taught that fat was bad, and we had no education. I had never had any education on things. You just knew you weren't supposed to have all the calories, right? Like that was kind of the thing. So when you had to sort of like rearrange your mindset around fat and understand that fat is good for you, it's kind of a learning curve. And I'm actually going through that with a number of clients right now. They're having to unlearn like bad behaviors and bad things in that they have learned as they grew up, right? But what fat does is it helps us to function. It's crazy to think that we actually need brain function. So fat helps with good. Fat helps with brain function, helps your nervous system. It supports your heart, right? Heart healthy. And just because you're I want you to kind of think about fats help to increase the good cholesterol in your body, right? And it's a great source of slow burning, steady energy in your body too. But we literally need fats in order to function. But making sure you're getting in the right quality of fat is important, right? So it's not really any longer about calories and the quantity of the food. It is to a point, but more of the quality of the food that you're eating. So today, in today's world, it's going to be better for you to be looking at the full fat foods and the things that are, because when they comment they're a pure source, they're not processed, right? So like yogurts or I'm trying to think of like what else is like fat free, deemed it's chemically processed to be fat free. They've done stuff to it. So staying away, full fat foods are where you want it to go with that. Okay. We need that fat to function. Now it is true that they're like, everybody's different, right? So I want to also say this was a question that came up that like, not all carbs are equal, not all fats are equal, right? And not all bodies are the same either. So where one person over here really is being successful with a low carb, high fat diet, and that's sustainable for them, that does not mean that's going to be sustainable for you, right? I actually was just going through this with a client this morning, that we need that benchmark to start with. We want to start with that balance of foods to start with, okay? And then you kind of tweak from there. But you have to build a foundation and learn about your body first and what you need, right? And this took a really long time for me as well. But now I'm in a place where I've built this foundation. I'm eating this balance for every single meal that I have. And I can say to myself, okay, this type of food digests on me better. This type of food lasts longer in my body. This combination of foods bloats me. This combination of foods makes things better. But you have to have that like benchmark before you can start to like create those building blocks, right? The other thing is that for me personally, I get a ton of energy off of a lot of carbs, but lower fat. That doesn't mean I don't eat any fat. It just means that my servings are much less than my carbs are. There are some people that really thrive on, as I mentioned, the high fat, lower carb, but there are also a lot of people that can just stay with the status quo and be balanced all the way across where your carbs and your fats are equal. Okay. So we kind of get into that when I coach you, when we talk about specifics to your body's needs. And again, it is a lot of trial and error because no two bodies are the same. Okay. So we got through fats today. Tomorrow we'll be talking about carbs. So if you're not already in our community, it's my free community on Facebook. Please drop a comment below if you want to be added. I would love to have you join us for the rest of the week. We're only on day 3 and we have so much to still cover. One of the things that was posted over on my regular page was that I had posted a graphic yesterday about carbs, a good list an okay list and a not so good list, right? Eat more of these, eat less of these, limit these, kind of a thing. Again, I'm not a fan of food rules. I don't like restrictions. Because I don't live that way myself, right? I've found a way to live a happy and balanced nutritional lifestyle and still find results, and you can too. It's when we place all of these preconceived notions and rules about food that we start to fall off at all or nothing, black or white. It's like we need to take a step back and just unlearn all these behaviors, right? Shut off the noise, put your blinders on, and do for you. Okay, so I put this graphic up, kind of good, better, and best carbs, right? Just to kind of gauge people's feedback, what does your plate look like when you see this list? And the comment was just that not everybody can eat the same carbs, that not all carbs are created equal. And that's exactly it. And that was what I was mentioning before about how your body will process things much differently than somebody else will, right? Like when you're on, whether it's social media or you're in the gym and you're looking at somebody, their body is not the same as yours. You can say, I want a six pack like hers all day long, but your body is never going to look like hers because you're you. Okay. So just remember that. We're like snowflakes. We're literally like snowflakes. There's no two of us alike. Okay. So in taking that in consideration, you do need to know what carbs are going to work best for your body, right? But you don't know that until you start, creating those balanced plates. And I also feel like the combination of foods, like the carbs with a fat, with a protein, with a vegetable, like that combination of it all is going to make a big difference too, right? Like we know, like the cleanest of the clean, unprocessed foods are the ones that are on trees or come from the ground, right? So naturally, something like a sweet potato would be like the best of the best, right? Quinoa is another plant source, right? Versus something like, say, bread or pasta, right? And you can get chickpea made pasta that's better for you, of course, right? But it's in a box, it's processed, that it is what it is, right? But that's a better option than say your enriched wheat, your enriched pasta product or whatever, right? And that's not to say that you can't ever have those things, but you just have to know how your body is going to react to some of that stuff, right? Like oatmeal is another one. I don't have an issue with bread, but I do know that if I eat something that is like yesterday, for example, I had the chickpea pasta and that sat on me for a long time. It took a long time for it to process through. And I think that's because it has some protein in there too. But I know that my body does really good on wheat pasta and that kind of chickpea pasta. If I have a sandwich, the bread sort of goes through me faster, right? And that's not to say that I have any sort of reaction. I just know, I would say to myself, oh, I'm going to do here or I'm going to be here. So I would eat this kind of a food before I left to be away from my food for all those hours, right? And again, it's all in how you like to, your lifestyle. Are you working? We're on the go. Like what's happening with that, right? And those are all things that we talk about when I work with you on a one-on-one basis. And we talk about your lifestyle. We talk about what your habits are like. Do you have a family? Like all of that kind of stuff. So we get into some of those specifics because again, we are like snowflakes, right? Okay. So that was one of the questions that came up. I also had somebody post that they, this was actually in my online fit gym, inside our exclusive group where I'm working with members with fitness and nutrition on a regular basis. They posted that they woke up and they were starving and they pushed through their workout anyways. And I was like, okay, well, you can do that, right? Like a lot of people do just feel really good on a fasted cardio or a fasted workout. Like I'm one of those people. I really don't like to eat before I work out. But I've used to be in stages of my life where I would have a little something or do like time nutrition throughout the day. And I was paying attention to that. That really worked well for me in the season of time that I was in then too. So, it's not to say that you can only go at it one way. You just want to pick something and choose something that's going to be sustainable for you. And it's okay that each day could also be different too. Okay. So my suggestion to her was, if it's you're super hungry and you're struggling to get through your workout, that's your body telling you something. So my suggestion to her was to have maybe like a half serving of a protein shake. So something that I used to do all the time was I would take like Quest protein or some, I have a couple vanilla grass-fed ones, and a half a scoop with some water. Okay. Like a half a serving. So literally it's like, if it's like an 8 or 10 ounces, like 4 or 5 ounces. Right. And then I would also consume, we have a hydrate, in intra-workout hydrate that I use. And so the little carbs from that and the little bit of protein from the pre-workout, and I sipped both throughout my workout and gave me a ton of energy. Just a small little bit was enough, and it didn't fill me up and it didn't weigh me down. It wasn't like I was eating a full-on meal. It was just enough to push through, especially because I know that this girl is doing a 45-minute program. That's a long time, right? It's not like a little, like if you were going to just jump into quick cardio, it probably wouldn't matter. You could probably do that fasted and it would probably you'd feel great. But if you're going to be pushing weights, and if you're going to be kind of working on, body weight or whatever, any type of strength movement, I would definitely suggest this could be some little trick that you could consume beforehand. And it's just enough, right, to kind of carry you through. And then within 30 minutes of your workout, you should have your first meal. And then, kind of go on from there and play with that, right? You could also consume something like that before your workout, or you can have a little protein and then consume the hydration throughout the workout. Just a little bit of carbs in there. It's really like a half of a serving of a meal, but it's just enough to kind of carry you through and give you enough momentum and not make you feel like full, right? While you're doing your workout. So I loved that example that she asked, and she was talking about that. I 100% say you need to listen to your body, okay? And if something is not right and you don't feel good, and you need to go, okay, body, tell me what I need, because here's a good example of that, right? Like when you have little kids and stuff, I know that my kids, when they were going through something in their body, they'd be craving milk more, they'd be wanting yogurt more, because that's like the dairy, the calcium. Your body is talking to you. So open your ears and listen and give it what it needs, right? Okay. Yeah, I guess the last thing I was just thinking about was, carbs not being the enemy. But I kind of covered that before. Like, we need carbs to function. And again, you can come into our group tomorrow and learn all about carbs and weigh in your thoughts and get more questions answered. Drop that information for you guys here. I think I don't know if I can put it in the chat or not. Let's see if I can do that. Is it letting me? Can't post in some chat channels. Okay. That's the group link. Okay. So coming in, learning, answering questions. I love this community. Like I said, I'm an open book. I'm here to be completely open, authentic, honest with you guys on my journey, what's worked for me, and then also examples of my clients and what has been working for them as well. So one of the things that I want to share today too is just having you guys think about, the vision that you want for your health. Right. So whenever somebody comes to me and they're like, I'm struggling, I don't know where to start, the biggest thing or the first thing that I say to them is, tell me about you and your goals. Where are you right now? And where do you see yourself in 30 days, in 6 months from now, and a year from now? What does that look like for you? Okay. And then we talk about how to set goals to reach the vision. And then we take it a step further by talking about daily action steps and habits in order to get there. Okay, so let me just give you a picture of this. If you start to look way out and you're like, I need to lose 100 pounds, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming, I don't even know where to start. Like, I get you. That is a lot. That's a lot to think about. Like, sleep and water and food and exercise and and it could go on. And then that's why people don't start, because they're like, I don't even know what to do. Like, there's so much choices, right? Or they decide, I'm going to make a wrong choice and go into something that's completely unrealistic, unsustainable. And then they wonder why they're binging and they're starving, or they can't, their head's not in the game. Like, there's so many variables there, right? And so this is like where I come in, and I sit down and we work together on this. And I get your vision and I get your goals, and you talk to me about what life would look like for you if you lost 100 pounds, if you lost 50 pounds. How would you feel if you just lost 10 pounds, right? Like, what that feels like, what you're physically wearing, what your face looks like. What is it like to be with your family or to be in pictures? Like the thoughts can go on and on, like journal that out. What does that look like for you? And then we talk about, putting together an action plan with daily habits that you can implement for, like, let's say 3 weeks. We're going to work on A, B, and C. And, we've got some different habits that we can work through. And I'm always telling my clients too, you've got to walk before you can run. Like if you can't get consistent with just drinking water every single day, then you need to start there, right? And then we just kind of build on top of that. So we talk about creating those new habits. We take it down a notch and we say, okay, let's go back to basics. What is it that you can handle right now? And let's implement one action item every single day, right? Because what is ultimately going to get you to that 100-pound loss is the insignificant daily little actions every single day. It's going to add up to a lot. Okay. And over a year's time, it's going to add up to even more. I'd love to tell you that there is a quick fix or a magic pill, or I'm going to wave the magic wand, but it doesn't happen that way. And the key to this too is really making sure that it's sustainable. Because if you're in a place where you're like on and off and up and down, like nobody wants to live that way. That doesn't feel good. It ruins your innards. Like your metabolism's all over the place and your mindset is like, see, I'm a failure. See, I told you I can do it. And it reinforces why you're not sticking to your plan, right? So when you're working with me, we talk about those habits, habit-based coaching. We talk about daily actions that are going to get you to your goal. They're not very sexy. They're not exciting. But if you consistently work on them every single day, you'll go to that next place, right? And I'm there with you, holding your hand and walking through. We actually link arms because I am going through my own personal and physical challenges and things that I'm working on for myself. I'm always working to get to that next level in my life. And so we're literally inside of our communities doing this together. I'm showing you what I'm eating. I'm showing you what I'm doing. It might not be the same as where you are. It might not even be close, but we're still collectively working on our goals. And then you also have the support of our community. So where we work together one-on-one and we talk about action steps and habits and plans, you also see what everyone else is working on. We've got some women that have been in there for years. We've got some women that have just started. We've got some women that are back and restarted. And so you kind of get a glimpse of where everyone is on the spectrum. And I love that right now the groups are on fire because everyone is supporting each other. Everyone is like just there for one another. And you're never alone. It's like I said in the beginning, there's nothing to replace that in-person connection. But when you can't find that in your local community, or you really just need something a little bit more is in terms of support and accountability, these communities are something that you can thrive in, right? So my October group has been open, and it will be open until the 17th, which is next week, right? So open enrollments are happening right now inside of the Next Level Living Fit Gym. It is our exclusive community where women, mostly moms and women, are working on their fitness. They're working on their nutrition. We talk about mindset. We talk about all of these other things that really facilitate the nutrition and the fitness, tangible things. Okay. So I want you to know that this is a work in progress, but if we're not working on it as a holistic approach, you're never going to get to that end goal, right? You can put a Band-Aid over the things that are not working right now, but if you don't actually work on the things that are in your life that are contributing factors to why you're not successful, then you're never going to get to that 100-pound result, right? You're never going to get to that end goal. So mindset's a huge piece of the puzzle. And usually what I tell most of my clients too is like, I don't want you to be on the scale. I don't want you to be tracking. I don't want you to be doing all these things, because when you lean into the group and the daily actions and activities, as a result, you're going to see success. It's just like a consequence of being plugged into our community and being a part of what we do. So the first steps are talking to me about your goals. I learn a little bit more about you, see what it is that you need specifically, and then I match a program that's going to meet those specific needs and goals. So fitness program, nutrition program, depending on where you are in the spectrum, what you need. If you're already good with the fitness and you just need the nutrition, then we work on that. If you're already good with the nutrition, but you really need to move your body a little bit more, put you with that. The mindset piece comes with it. I feel like that's just a huge part of the puzzle. But essentially, like wherever you are on the spectrum, I will meet you where you're at on that. So open enrollment right now for the October group. If you have or interested in that, I can put the link for you guys to join us and learn more. Oh my gosh, where am I going here with this? Okay, give me one sec. I should have brought it up earlier. And we are getting ready for a new challenge coming this Christmas too, which I'm excited about. Okay, let me see if Okay, here's what I'm going to do is I am going to put the health assessment in here for you guys. So, not really knowing what it is that you need right now, I am going to drop the health assessment in here first to start with. So sorry that wasn't better labeled, but it's that form right there. So go ahead and fill that out. Once I see that come through on my email, then I will get in touch with you, mostly via email. I usually talk to people most of the time via email. And then I also do have a video app that I love to use when I'm coaching my clients called Marco Polo. So you'll probably start working with me over there. But essentially, we just find out where you are and where you want to go, and then we put an action plan in place in order to get you there. And expect to spend the better part of the year with me. Don't expect 30 days and it's done, 60 days and you're done. Usually you're just kind of getting started. Usually the first 30 days is a learning curve. We are working together, and then after the 30 days, we're kind of building upon things. So I'm super excited about this. And again, if you want to join our free community, carbs are on tap to talk about tomorrow. So you can put that, click on that Facebook group. If you want to learn a little bit more about coaching with me and working one-on-one and joining us in our October Fit Gym, you can click on that form, fill that out. It's a little bit lengthy because I like to know a little bit more about your specific situation. So give yourself like a good 10 minutes to fill that out. And I think that's it. If you guys get any questions or have anything going on that you need specifically from what you saw here, I just want to make sure that if there was any questions, anybody dropped any questions into the community, let me know. You can drop your questions below. If you're watching the replay, let me know that. And then, again, if you have any questions, I'm an open book. I'm happy to answer. Excited for the rest of this month. We've got so much going on. So just so that you know, the theme inside of our Fit Gym changes. Like I have this evolving group that grows throughout the year, and then every month I kind of change up the theme. So if you've been in my groups, you know that we're kind of working on this like through the years or through the year, every single month. So this month rather, we're talking about healthy balance, right? Because we know that the holiday season is coming up. So we're really, really working heavily on what that physical and mental balance looks like. And so that we can sort of de-stress and keep our routine and our habits through the holiday season, right? Because we know that this stuff is coming. We know Christmas is coming and Thanksgiving and all this stuff, right? So how do we stay and maintain what we've got going on through the holiday season? I also feel like it's a huge emphasis on realizing that taking care of yourself in this way is going to help you to have a better holiday season, right? It's just only going to contribute to improve your energy, improve your strength, be able to tackle the people and the hustle and the bustle, and then we'll turn things around. And when January comes, we'll be setting new goals for ourselves. We'll be ready to turn things up a notch, right? But we'll already be embedded with our habits and our routines. So it's not going to be that hard of a stretch to say on December 31st, I can't wait till tomorrow because I got new goals now, right? And think about how awesome you'll feel in a few months when you're at that point going, everyone else is going, oh, I have 10 pounds to lose. Oh, I ate all this food. Like you'll be like, I'm already here and I'm ready for the next place, right? And I love that. I love that about this lifestyle. And that's what it is. It's a long-term, healthy, sustainable lifestyle. And when you can embrace it and, put what you need to put to work in, it's going to reward you tremendously. Okay. Mind, body, soul. That's what it's all about, right? Living a healthy and fulfilling life sustainably, into our ages as I go. Okay. All right, you guys, I chatted enough today. If you have any questions, drop them below. Make sure that you click on the link if you want to join us in the Facebook group. If you're not already in there, we're talking about carbs and we're going to finish out the rest of the week with our macros. And next week in the group, we'll be talking about movement a little bit more. So that, and then if you're looking to work with me in October, you can fill out that second link, which is the form piece. And when I see that and come into my email, I'll reach out to you via email. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for being here.